Yeah, nearly 6.5 hours later, and firefighters just finished spraying water on the remaining hot spots. Traffic heading northbound on State Route 99 still closed off at this hour, a major headache for Seattle drivers. Under a sweltering Seattle sun, firefighters race against the fast-moving flames as black plumes of smoke billow across the skyline. Seattle Fire says around 4:30 in the afternoon, something sparked a brush fire, taking semi-trucks, RVs, and power poles with it.
Brush fire was wind-driven, heading southbound towards the semi-trucks that are parked alongside of the road.
But an employee who works in the neighborhood tells me they saw what they believe to be the real culprit.
Someone was driving and they flicked a cigarette out of their window, and then it lit the brush on fire. And then that lit the poles on fire, which then, because the poles were on fire and it started on the ground, it lit all of the RVs and like the semis on fire like all at once, and they all just went all in one like direct line.
One by one, power poles left dangling by the wire, knocking out power to a half-mile radius during one of the hottest days of the summer.
It is a recipe for disaster. It's a big recipe for disaster too, because the building that is like directly across from this is a really big warehouse for all sorts of different shipping and things like that, and they don't have power right now.
And off in the distance, you can see construction and power crews working to kind of clean up the remaining mess from this fire. I just checked, less than 100 people are without power tonight, so that's a good sign considering we're heading into another very hot day tomorrow. Live in Seattle, Hannah Knowles, KOMO News.
New video shows the moment several utility poles collapsed during a fire in Seattle's Georgetown neighborhood this afternoon. Crews responded to a semi-truck fire on Marginal Way that shut down several lanes of northbound 99 traffic this afternoon. The flames caught, there you can see, caught a, looks like a semi-truck, the big rig part of it on fire, spread power poles and left several hundred customers without power. It was an absolute mess, snarled traffic down there as well. Tonight we're learning new details and what might have sparked it. Hannah Knowles joins me live tonight. Hannah, what's the latest? What have you been able to learn tonight?
Preston, well, I'm not sure if you can see behind me, but there's still firefighters here dousing hot spots and just making sure that all of those flames are completely out and under control. This is hours later. That 911 call, first 911 calls and reports of the fire came in at about 4:30. It's now 10 o'clock, so this is hours later, and power in this area is still out. We're learning that, fire thinks that this was a brush fire. They have not released any details as to what may have started this. We did talk to some people who work in the area, who live in the area. They say that they heard maybe someone's cigarette butt is what started this. Someone threw it out the window. It caught on fire, or onto the brush on fire, and then it spread to what looks like semi-trucks with the construction kind of things on the back of it, and then some different RVs here in the area.
Now, you said that you think it might have been a cigarette butt, someone just flicking it out the window. I noticed when, I think it was Seattle Fire, put out some of the information tonight, they had a lot of tips and suggestions as to what people shouldn't be doing when they're driving, potentially throwing something out the window like this or a firework or something else.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Preston, and especially when it's getting as hot as it is here in Seattle. At some points today, my phone was showing that it was 94 degrees. It's, still very warm out here, and so when it's that hot here in Seattle, the brush, things like that, that is dry. So if you're throwing a cigarette butt out your window, it might catch on to some of that dry brush along the side of the roadways. Fireworks, of course, not a good idea either at any time really, but especially when it's hot like this. And they also said make sure that you're careful about what's under your car. If your car has any loose wires or chains or anything like that that could spark a fire, because when things are this hot and when it's dry, that's when things can really go bad.
All right, Hannah Knowles, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for the update.